regarding today's and the current geopolitical tension around the globe, has the company faced challenges related to raw material prices or pharmaceutical distribution following this pandemic and also the globally geopolitics?
Yeah, I think this is a good question, right? And actually, there are a couple of elements to your question. The first one is about the raw material. So allow me to start with the raw material, right? So not only Organon, but basically almost all the pharmaceutical company in Indonesia and also in the globe, actually more than 90% of the raw material actually still imported, right? So like it or not, even though our government really strengthening the TKDN, local content requirement, but the matter of the fact is 90% of the raw material, including the packaging, are imported, except the secondary packaging. So after the pandemic, right, we also noticed that there is significant increase for this raw material, especially for the active ingredient and also the semi-finished goods, which is the bulk tablet itself. So majority, the spike or the increase of this raw material happening in the Europe, because of they said because of the inflation is very high in Europe, and also the price of energy also is really increasing. That's why Organon globally, we try to mitigate the risk of this very high cost of the packaging. So that's why we move our primary packaging supplier from China to from Europe to China, because of course China is more affordable. And the company also still have an ongoing project, which is Gaia project, which is try to find more competitive supplier around the globe. So that's about the raw material, right? So to cut the story short, it's really increasing year after year. Now, interesting about the geopolitics, right? Because for Organon Indonesia, we do inbound and outbound shipment. Inbound meaning because we need to import raw material, packaging, and so on and so forth. The outbound meaning because we do export of our finished good product. So those two, inbound and outbound, is really have a significant factor if the geopolitics is not stable. So just for example, I'm sure you know that I think a couple of months or last year we experienced disruption in the Red Sea, Laut Merah. And then because of that disruption, the study says that any company will need to spend more than $1 million so that they can try to avoid the Red Sea with the Suez Canal itself. So they need to spend more money, they need to spend more time really just to go around to circle, try to avoid this area. So it's really matters. And then the last one is the drug distribution, right, post the pandemic itself. So I want to share you also a story about our Indonesia situation during the COVID, right? I'm sure you're still aware that during the COVID, everyone tried to get vaccine, COVID vaccine. And then thanks to our government, because our government able to lobby some of the international manufacturing company, just like my previous company, MSD. So they able to get the vaccine. My only point is, nowadays, government try to put a lot of effort in the health resiliency. So meaning that they try to ensure that most of the medicine are produced locally. But just to give you a picture also that somehow it is also not that easy, because for pharmaceutical, there is an R&D component, research and development. So this research and development is very critical for the pharmaceutical, because otherwise, whenever there is a new disease coming in, then we don't have the medicine. We really rely on this research-based company just like us to really inventing the new medicine for the new diseases. So my point is, yes, in one side, government focus on the LCR or TKDN, local content, but in general, they also need to value the value of research and development for the innovative medicine for the international manufacturing like us. So that's in general.
Okay, so move into the ESG. So we all know that from your financial report company, you have such a good ESG operations. All right, so how is ESG integrated into SCPI's overall business model and day-to-day operations?
Yeah, so I think this is one of the most difficult question for this one. Because talking about ESG, I think if I need to explain about ESG for our company, it really take a long time, because there are three components, right? The first one is environment. So before I start with the environment, I I want to share also with you that ESG is very close to our company. In fact, globally, we have our own term for the ESG. We call it Her Promise. And then under each or every element, we have our own name. And then I will explain one by one. So the first one, environment, E for environment, right? So we call it Her Planet.
Okay.
Planet buat wanita. So you might argue with me that, Pak, planet is not only for women, for men also. Yes, we understand. But our point is we cannot expect the health for our women if the planet itself is not healthy.
It's also the mother nature.
It's also the mother nature, right? Exactly, and also woman, right? So couple of things that we do globally for this environmental. The first one is we also focus on the climate change, right? So we try to transition to the low carbon energy. And our long-term aspiration is really to have the net zero GHG emission, effect gas rumah kaca. And then we also focus on this carbon dioxide emission reduction. And also, as another company also do, we do also focus on the 3R, recycling, reduce, reuse, and also recycle. And then specific for Organon Indonesia, right, from the integrated financial report, you will see that even though year after year our sales is growing, but the consumption of energy actually is going down. So electricity in our factory is going down, diesel also going down. That's for the climate change. And then we still have another 2 points for the environment, which is the second one, before go to the social, which is the water management and waste management. But I think perhaps the timing is not that good, so perhaps I just go directly to the social, right? So for the social, we call it in Organon is Her Equity. Okay. So for Her Equity, which is social, we focus on 3 things. The first one is we do focus on innovation for the woman health. So meaning that most of our clinical trial nowadays is really focused on the woman's health. So that's also to showcase that we really pay disproportionate focus for the woman's health. The second is about the human capital, right? So for human capital, we try to ensure that the gender representative across the layers of our organization is really balanced between male and female. And also one of interesting thing that I want to share with you that somehow in the globe, right, men get paid more than women, mostly, right? So, but in Organon, we try to avoid that one. We have what we call pay equity study to ensure that there is no discrimination between men and women for the salary. That's for the human capital. And then the last for the equity, which is the most important, I can say, is about the access for medicine. As I mentioned earlier, we really aim to prevent 120 million unintended pregnancy by providing access for 100 million women globally for our affordable contraceptive product. So that's for the hair equity.